Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wondered why sometimes you feel just plain bored, and other times it is like a heavy blanket you can't shake off? Well, this new study dives deep into what boredom actually feels like in your body. That is right, it turns out boredom isn't just in your head, it has a physical signature too. And the way researchers found it is pretty cool. So what is the big question here? Scientists know boredom is usually linked to feeling low and kind of blah, but they weren't sure what it felt like in the body compared to other emotions. They wanted to see if boredom had its own unique physical feeling. Imagine you are stuck in a really boring meeting, maybe your leg starts bouncing or you feel a tightness in your chest. Now imagine lounging on the couch, unable to decide what to watch. Your body feels heavy, your eyes droop. Both are boredom, but they feel different, right? This study wanted to map out these bodily feelings. They used a method called bodily sensation mapping, or BSM. Think of it like these participants colored in body outlines to show where they felt sensations, and whether those sensations were pleasant or unpleasant. They compared boredom to other emotions like anger, happiness, sadness, and curiosity. Their main idea was that boredom would feel like deactivation, a sort of slowing down all over the body. And definitely unpleasant, especially in the head. They also thought that people who are generally more prone to boredom might feel these unpleasant sensations even more. So how did they do it? They got 292 people to do this online. For each emotion, like boredom, anger, or happiness, participants were asked to think about when they felt that emotion. Then, using their mouse, they would color in a body silhouette to show where they felt sensations associated with that emotion. They did this twice for each emotion, once for activity and once for valence. For activity, they colored areas where they felt more or less activated. For valence, they colored areas that felt more or less pleasant. After mapping out all the emotions, participants also filled out questionnaires about how prone they are to boredom, how they deal with it, and how well they can sense what is going on in their own bodies, which is called interoception. This is a sample of what one person's boredom map looked like for unpleasant sensations. You can see some coloring in the head area. Now, for the exciting part, what did they find? When people were feeling bored, they consistently reported a feeling of deactivation all over their body, sort of like a general slowing down. But here is the key difference for boredom. The unpleasantness was mostly felt right in the head. The rest of the body didn't show a strong sense of pleasantness or unpleasantness. Look at this figure. The top row shows activity and the bottom row shows valence for boredom. See how it is mostly cool colors all over for activity, meaning deactivation. And for valence, there is a concentrated cool color, meaning unpleasantness, in the head area but not much else. This is super different from, say, happiness, which shows warm colors for pleasantness all over, or anger, which shows activation in specific areas. They even built a computer program to try and guess which emotion someone was feeling based on their body map. It could identify boredom really well, even better than some other emotions, especially when it looked at both activity and valence together. This tells us boredom has a pretty distinct bodily footprint. Interestingly, the BSM for boredom was sometimes confused with curiosity or sadness, which also tend to involve less activation. This makes sense because both sadness and boredom can feel like a general slowing down. Now, about that lack of strong valence feeling in the body outside the head. The researchers looked into this. They found that when it came to pleasant or unpleasant feelings in the body, not the head, boredom was the most mixed bag. About 28% of people felt positive sensations, 51% felt negative, and a good chunk felt neutral. This is way more varied than emotions like happiness or anger, where most people felt pretty consistently positive or negative respectively. This mixed bags feeling explains why the average body map for boredom didn't show a strong pleasant or unpleasant signal. It wasn't that people felt nothing, it was that their feelings were all over the place individually. This table really highlights that point. Look at boredom. The negative proportion is high, but so is positive and neutral. Compare that to anger, where a huge 83.2% felt negative. This ambiguity in valence for boredom is a key finding. The study also looked at individual differences. They found that how prone someone is to boredom and how well they can sense their own body, interoception played a role, but not always how they expected. For example, the pleasantness or unpleasantness of boredom in the head wasn't linked to how much people tend to get bored. But for those who are very good at sensing their internal body signals, higher boredom proneness was linked to even stronger feelings of deactivation in the body. This suggests that if you are someone who is naturally attuned to your body, feeling bored might feel even more like a physical shutdown. This table summarizes those findings. See where it says activity SBPS, and then looks at body without head. There is a significant interaction between boredom proneness and interoception. This means that being prone to boredom has a bigger effect on your physical deactivation if you also have high interoceptive abilities. So, what does all this mean? The study confirms that boredom has a unique physical signature, deactivation across the body, and unpleasantness primarily in the head. This is different from other emotions. The fact that it is not a super strong feeling and the valence in the rest of the body is so varied might explain why boredom is so tricky to define and why it sometimes feels like a non-state. It is not a powerful drive, but more of a signal that something needs to change. The localized head unpleasantness could be that initial, oh, this is boring, I need to do something alarmed. The variability in body valence for boredom is really interesting. It suggests that while the initial feeling of boredom might be a general slowdown with some head discomfort, how that translates into a pleasant or unpleasant physical feeling in the rest of your body can differ greatly from person to person. This might depend on personality, current mood, or even how you tend to cope when you feel bored. The connection with interoception is also intriguing. While it didn't universally make BSMS stronger, it did seem to influence how we map boredom, especially showing that for those highly aware of their bodies, boredom can lead to an amplified physical sense of shutdown. This hints that how we process our internal signals might really shape our emotional experiences. Overall, this study is a fantastic step forward in understanding boredom, not just as a mental state, but as a physical experience. By mapping out these sensations, we get a clearer picture of how boredom is distinct from other emotions and how individual factors like our tendency to get bored and our body awareness can shape it. It's a reminder that our bodies are constantly communicating with us, even when we're feeling nothing much at all. What is amazing is how this research, using cool coloring techniques, can tell us so much about something as common, yet so elusive as boredom. It suggests that maybe next time you feel bored, pay attention to where you feel it. Is it in your head? Does your body feel heavy? That might be your body's unique way of telling you it's time for a change. What do you guys think about these findings? Does boredom feel like this for you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more science breakdowns, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the mind. See you next time.